Hey guys, good morning. So, I'm not big on doing commercials for anyone. I think if I'm gonna recommend a product, it carries more weight, or my recommendations have a little bit more credibility, because no one's paying me for my commentary. I go through applications and show you guys what I'm using, and whether you guys like it or not, it's up to you. I'm just kind of showing what I use and what I do. Someone commented that they tried Trucker's Path the other day and they think it sucks. I think that was exactly the terminology used, and I agree. It's glitchy. It's not the greatest thing. I do like a couple features that kind of help me in terms of my trip planning, but it's not the greatest app. Anyway, so what I'm showing you guys here is a video downloaded from Ring. So Ring is a doorbell that has a video camera connected to it. Many of you may already have these. It's not necessarily a smart device, but it's smart enough. So in this particular case, what happens is when motion goes off in front of the camera, it kind of alerts you, hey, there's motion in this camera. And for us, it's a little bit annoying. We live on a cul-de-sac, so right on the other side of the wife's Tahoe there, it's basically a cul-de-sac, and a lot of cars excuse me, come up the road. We're kind of at the end of the neighborhood, if you will, and a lot of cars flip U-turns there. So we get tons of notifications during the day every time someone comes in the neighborhood, or if a cat walks across the porch or whatever. So in this particular case, the vehicle you see behind the wife's car, the video doesn't really capture it very well, but it's a BMW SUV. This vehicle pulled up, I think, looked at our address and realized, okay, I'm on the wrong end of the block, backed up and hit our neighbor's car. I'm wearing a headset right now, so as I play the video, you will not be able to hear the audio, but you can hear the impact clear as a whistle. And right on the other side of where the impact happened, our postal lady was delivering mail. We have one of those community mailboxes. Each house does not have its own. The postal service goes to the one big box, and they put it all over there. So she was parked right there, and you could hear her clearly say to the driver, hey, you hit this car, and the driver drove off. So where this Ring technology or service really comes into play is the cops showed up, I don't know, an hour or two later after my neighbor discovered his car had damage to it. So the cops showed up and knocked on our door and said, hey, I see you have a Ring doorbell. Would you mind looking at its footage? There was a hit and run that happened on your block. Maybe your camera caught the vehicle. And so this is the video that ours caught. The yellow house you see kind of straight ahead. My house ends up kind of at his backyard, if you will. Kind of typical for what happens in cul-de-sacs. When that car turned around and left, his camera also caught it. But the cool thing about this system is the wife was able to upload the video to their website in our community and say, hey, does anyone else recognize this vehicle? It came up our street and hit our neighbor's car. The police are looking for it. Within about 30 minutes, someone else posted you know, do you know what kind of car it was? That looks like the Grubhub driver that was over an hour late delivering our food. And so they went back and forth, and turns out it's the same car. The lady called the police, and the police are now, the police now have an avenue to pursue. They know they just need to contact Grubhub and see, you know, who owns a black BMW that was delivering in our town on our street. And so for those of you that are looking to get into this business, one thing you need to understand is you're going to be away from home a lot. And this kind of thing can look out for your assets, you know. The scenario here is that car, that driver would have just pulled away, and the owner would have been stuck fixing their car out of pocket, or had this vehicle hit, you know, my wife's car, you know, I'd be fixing that out of pocket. And so it's handy. Anyway, so here goes the video. You're not going to be able to hear the audio, but you can see the vehicle kind of pulls up there, you know, checks our address, says, nope, wrong one. And right there, bam, hits the other car. And it's starting to pull forward and pull away. The postal lady steps out in front of the car and says, hey, you just hit that car, and the driver still pulled away. But like I said, 2 other cameras on our block caught the same car on video, and then the person that actually was waiting for a delivery there, that person actually has video footage of the driver pulling up into their driveway, jumping out of the car. So now, you know, that person has like up close and personal video. It was a female. You could see how she was dressed, you know, everything like tied together now. Some people might say, well, this is kind of like Big Brother technology. They can, you know, see what you're doing. I don't like it. In this case, it's saving my neighbor some out-of-pocket expense. I recommend the product. I think it's pretty cool. You can also, like in our case, you know, if we receive packages during the day, you know, you get an alert, someone just walked up. You know, if someone rings the doorbell, it creates a little log, that kind of thing. And it's kind of handy, guys. I'd recommend looking into it. We have one on the front door, the side door that leads into the garage, and one on the back door. We originally just, the front door one was gifted to us, believe it or not. It was a Christmas gift for my mother-in-law, and you know, didn't really think much of it. But then when we saw it was kind of handy, we did the other doors just because it's a makeshift security system, and it keeps a decent log of all the activity. Anyways, I just figured I'd throw that out there. It's kind of one of the side things I think that we as truckers can use, because, you know, we're away from home, and this kind of helps keep an eye on things. Anyways, thanks for watching.